Alright, so yesterday morning I headed down to Gardnerville to catch that shot of those fall color trees with the mountain backdrop with a little snow on it, but the weather really didn't cooperate too much because there were quite a bit of clouds on the east side, which would have been the sunrise side, so it really just kind of washed out that early morning golden hour light that I wanted. And then once the sun did come up over those clouds, it felt just a little too harsh for me after getting back to the studio and looking at the pictures. So today we got about 60-70% cloud cover, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to take a quick drive down there again today and see if the overcast skies provide a little bit better contrast with the color and the trees. So hang on, here we go. Alrighty, so I made it down here, and definitely have some sunlight, but doesn't look like the shadows are quite as harsh as they were yesterday morning. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a step out and let's see what we got to work with today. The trees are right over here, and I think the cloud conditions are a lot better today than definitely they were yesterday. A little bit less snow on the hill, unfortunately, because it has warmed up and the lower elevation snow kind of melted all off. But the harsh shadows we had in the morning from the morning sun yesterday aren't there. The dead grass is a little bit brighter, but I can handle the dead grass, and the sun cast over the trees is actually pretty nice right now. So let's get back to the place where I took them and we'll shoot a few more. Alright, well, I think that's about it for today in this location. So we're going to head back to the studio now, take a look at these pictures, and see how they compare to yesterday morning's. Alright, we're back here in the studio, and I'm going to take a look at these images that I took of the tree down in Gardnerville. I took about 161 total images. There was a combination of using the Nikon Z6 50mm 1.8 with the FTZ adapter, and the Nikon Z 24-200 on my Nikon Z6 II. And so a lot of the pictures came out really good, but the first day I felt that the clouds just weren't right. The way they were covering the Friels peak of the mountain just didn't really jive with what my vision was. And so that's why I went back on day 2, which was yesterday, and reshot it. I use this app called Photo Pills. I don't know if you've ever checked that app out. It's on the iPhone. And what's nice about that app, and I know there's some other ones out there that do the same thing, is that it will show you the direction of the sun at certain times of the day. And so one of the things I was trying to mitigate from day 1's morning mishaps was the shadow cast on the trees right in front of the meadow. And so I took a look at that Photo Pills app and kind of saw where the sun tracked for this time of year, and decided that, believe it or not, that more of a 11:30 noon hour would probably be the best to alleviate most of those shadows. And so that's why I headed down on day 2. I think these 4 pictures are probably my favorite out of the 2 days. They're taken pretty much straight out of the camera. All I did was a auto adjust on them, but clearly you can see the bottom right one, which was taken the day before. Despite the shadows in the foreground of the field, the trees and the mountains are much more well lit and much nicer to look at, versus the shot above that one, which was taken with the same exact lens. And then on the next day, although the clouds are nicer, the sunlight hitting those trees is really what makes all that color pop. And you'll also notice how much a day makes a difference. If you look almost dead center in the middle of the trees in the bottom picture, you can't see the house behind them, but literally almost maybe 30 hours later, the next day, now the tree is now the house is exposed now. And something interesting about these 2 pictures here, these 4 pictures, is that the first 2 on the right, the top and bottom, are taken with the Nikon 50mm prime 1.8 lens using the FTZ adapter. and they were taken with no UV filter at all on them, so it was just the lens itself. And the pictures on the left were taken with the Z mount lens, the 24-200, and both with a UV filter on them and at roughly the same focal length. You can see the top one is 41, the bottom is 53 versus just 50, and so very close. And basically kind of just looking at the differences between filter, no filter, and lens with FTZ prime versus a variable zoom with a UV filter, B&W's UV haze filter, and stuff. And so the ones on the right, I think, look just out of the camera, especially the one the day before with the sun, looks a lot sharper and more clear than the other three, with the top right coming in second, and then the bottom left third, and finally the top left one fourth. Well, I think that wraps up this photo trip. Definitely a lot of fun stocking this photo and shooting it with my two different lenses. I think I prefer the Nikon 50mm with FTZ adapter over my Z24-200 this time around, which kind of surprises me, but I'm not sure if it's because I went filterless on this or not. I'm going to look at these pictures a little bit more in detail later and see if there's any sharpness and quality differences between having the filter on and off. I hope you guys had a lot of fun watching this and coming along with the journey. And so if you did, please click the like button and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.